One more quick format introduction to a lot of the fun stuff that's going to come up in Korea in just a few days at the Open Source Security Foundation's Community Day Korea event that's happening on the 4th of November. Again, with me, I have a local superstar, a massive patron of open source efforts in Seoul, in Korea. Please welcome Seokho Son. Hello, Shoko. Thanks so much for being on the channel today and sharing your experience with us.
Yeah, hello, nice to meet you, and thank you, thank you too, for supporting this community and making this kind of session to promote the event in Korea. And 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요 is hello in Korean, and my name is Seokho Son, and I'm a senior researcher and uh, open source special fellow in Electronics and Telecommunications Research Institute, quite long. Uh, it is a national research institute in South Korea. And my primary job is responsibility is designing systems and devising algorithms for cloud and cloud native computing to accomplish some national research and development project. And I'm also one of the Cloud Native Computing Foundation ambassador, CNCF ambassador. Hello, everyone.
That's awesome. I think the CNCF is doing fascinating work in helping communities coalesce around all of the open source stuff. And I remember back in the day, you do a lot of open source work as an individual, but there's not really institutional recognition. But I'm glad that there's an ambassador program and you're part of it and things like that. So tell us a little more about the open source work that you do. Like, what projects do you use a lot? Obviously you mentioned the CNCF, but are there others, or are there like specific projects inside the CNCF that you use a lot?
Uh, yeah, actually, first of all, I'm one of the maintainers for Cloud Barista. It is also open source, Apache licensed the open source project, and that open source is based on government project in South Korea. So this project can support multi-cloud capabilities, various capabilities for enabling multi-cloud. And we operate it in open source. We try to get more contributors on it. Also, beside of that project, I'm also contributing to several projects inside cloud native community, especially for Kubernetes. And maybe I have contributed to Kubernetes for seven years, I guess, and mostly focused on documentation area in Kubernetes. So technical documentation as well as localization of those documentation. So currently I'm one of the SIGDocs, special interest group for documentation in Kubernetes, localization sub-project lead. So I hosted some monthly meetings for SIGDocs localization sub-project and try to bring more contributors worldwidely based on guiding and promoting contributions for the documentation area first, and try to bring more people to our Kubernetes community. Also in cloud native area, also I have some project maintainer called CNCF Cloud Native Glossary project. And in that repository and that project, we try to standardize and try to guide more easier way for the terminologies for used in cloud native domain. So I guess I can summarize. I have three major projects. First one is Cloud Barista project maintainer, and second one is Kubernetes SigDocs localization area, and third one is Cloud Native glossary project. Yeah.
Fascinating. I really love the SigDocs community. So, um, 3 years ago, when I first attended my first KubeCon, I hung out with the SigDocs folks for the longest time, and I spoke to them at length about all of the wonderful work that they were doing and all of the great stuff that they're doing. But thank you so much for being a champion of localization. It's very critical in helping open source reach a lot of these communities that depend on uh, how do I put it, non-English and localized versions of documentation and all of the resources. So open source summit is coming to Korea. How excited are you, and what do you look forward to at the event?
Yeah, actually, it is my first time going to participate in the uh, open source summit conference. I actually admired many people who they live in US or EU, Europe, uh, since they can easily participate this kind of nice global open source conference. But yeah, it is the first time in South Korea. So I think uh, anyone who are interested in open source, also user of open source, and people who wanna meet uh, expert in open source and making network, they should participate. It is a nice chance. Even me, I couldn't participate before. And there is a famous hero in open source community, Linus Torvalds. He will going to talk keynote, right? So yeah, we should meet him, his hero, and I personally hope to uh, uh, talk with him in person. Yeah.
Yeah, Linus is always a big draw where we go, and he's done so much for this community. It's just fascinating. Um, I was telling someone else that I had the opportunity to stand very close to him for a while
Oh.
and also shake hands with him very briefly. I'll never forget the moment, but I'm sure he won't even remember who I was. But yeah, so in a past event, I had the opportunity to meet him. But yeah, he's just amazing, and he's done so much. And he's great as a technologist, and it's wonderful to understand where his thoughts are at any given time and how he's thinking about all of these things. But also, a quick shout out to the OpenSSF Community Day event that's happening, and that's one of the communities that I work with very closely. And I'm sure in your role as an open source advocate and as an open source consumer, you do some security work, I'm assuming. So do you want to chat a little bit about what open source security means to you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, open source itself is very important in this area. Um, we are hard to avoid using open source. Um, any recent and state-of-art technology also carried by open source. But open source itself, not uh, one open source. Open source also consists of many open sources. So there is supply chain. So if you meet some security issue inside open source, how can we care of it? So I think since we can benefit from open source, so I think we should contribute to open source, uh, especially in perspective of security issue, so that we can be protected by ourselves. So participating in OpenSSF, open source uh, security foundation, right? Um, I think I think that uh, in that those in those sessions, I think we can know how to contribute to security aspect for the open source and open source supply chains. And I think we should meet the people who are contributing to that aspect. And if we are connected each other, then you will be notified quickly about security issues, security matters, and we can easily prevent upcoming security uh, vulnerability in open source and many open source you are using. So please participate in OpenSSF as well.
Yeah, I think you've highlighted like many of the key areas where our speakers are going to be giving talks, and where we generally work a lot in terms of like the supply chain security, and with the growing like AI stuff happening, we focus there, and then we do some of the policy stuff and all of that. So all of this is of very critical importance to us as a community, and that's where the OpenSSF sort of sits as the steward within the Linux Foundation and does security for a lot of different projects. And we aim for it to be like the hub for any security project or any security work within the Linux Foundation, especially when it concerns a lot of the projects. So yeah, I really hope you can join us, and watching this, a lot of other people will take interest and come join the OpenSSF Community Day. It's a free add-on to your open source summit ticket, so if you're already registered, you can just add OpenSSF Community Day to your existing ticket at no additional cost. So I hope to see a lot of you there. Again, thank you so much, Shoko, for all of the wonderful things that you do. It's been very nice chatting with you, although this has been very brief. I really hope to have a much longer conversation with you sometime in the future about all of the open source work that you're doing, especially in relation to like security and the supply chain and all of these things. um, I don't know to say bye bye in Korean, so if you can do the honors of saying goodbye, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I hope to see you all in uh, Open Source Summit Korea as well as OpenSSF uh, sessions. So uh, 곧 만나겠습니다. 금방 봐요. 꼭 참여하기 바랍니다. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.